welcome. We have our candidates Jamie Ceruto, Greg Licciardi, Sam Cohen, and Savannah Prager. Now, before we get things started, we just quickly want to go through this. Do you all pledge to support the winning candidate of the election, no matter the outcome? And do you pledge to do everything that you can to support the winning cabinet throughout the year? If you agree, please raise your hand. All right, looks like we can get started. We're going to begin with our opening statements. Since Jamie, you are the incumbent president, you may begin.
Hi, class of 2020, Jamie Ceruto here. I'd just like to start and say thank you, Daniel Sirota and Mr. Rhodes in Studio 462 for organizing this debate. This is really an important time for the class to really hear the candidates' opinions and their insights on the next coming year. I feel that this year I've gained so much experience, started new initiatives, built some great relationships with the outside world out of Millburn High, and I really feel like I can really bring this sophomore class together and really bring a lot of money in, put some big spirit events together, and have a lot of fun this year. And I'm asking for your vote. Please listen to all the responses, and I look forward to seeing you in the office, seeing you when I'm in the office of president of the class of 2020 sophomore year.
Thank you very much, Greg.
Hi, class of 2020. Thank you again, Daniel Sirota and Studio 462. I am very much looking forward to being class president next year if I am elected. I think our whole grade has gotten a great taste of the Millburn High School this year, our freshman year, and some of the great events that go on in this great school. I would be very much willing to bring us all together more next year and plan for some great events that I think we could all come up with in the cabinet, and really just people in our grade together. I think we can make a very fun year next year, sophomore year, and I am very excited for it. I think that there are many events that happen this year, such as the color run, where we could do more things like that and just make for a great sophomore year.
Hello everyone. Just like to first thank Dan and Studio for making this all happen. As potential future president of the class of 2020, there are two key issues that I'd like to address. The first of them being too much stress. The student space being too much stress. The student space. I know just like to how to balance the vigorous schoolwork with after-school activities. So, as president, I'll aim to solve these issues and create a fantastic school year.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, Savannah.
So I think that my opponent said very nicely our thanks for Studio 462. And my name is Savannah, and I'm running for the current freshman incoming sophomore class president. And I really think that I should be almost given this title as president to kind of incorporate the more masses of our actual school and of our actual grade into the cabinet, because I think that's very important.
We're going to move on right now to the main portion of the debate, which is the questions that are going to be asked of you guys. So we're going to start with Sam. And Sam, your question. This past year, there were numerous meetings held by the Student Center on reducing stress, not to mention those extended lunches back in March. Stress is indeed a big part of a high school student's life. So what's one way you can help relieve some stress for students?
That's a great question. Without a doubt, the no bells, extended lunches, and the therapy dogs of the system all proved to be helpful. But the system wasn't perfect because of the power school blackouts proved to be ineffective. As president, I would lobby for more no homework nights and more no test days. But also, I would introduce a system of peer counseling. This is where students dealing with stress can contact trained peers for help out of school. They can do it over text to remain anonymous, and this would help because the peers would be better understanding, and it would be more comfortable to ask them.
Thank you very much. Greg, we're going to ask you the same question. What's one way you can help relieve stress for students?
Yes, well, I do think the no homework nights were really the best thing that happened this year to reduce stress. I think we should continue with that next year, and that proved to be very helpful for students. Another thing to relieve stress is just, and this is a big one, fun. And whether that's exercise after school, having a group to just blow off steam. You don't have to play sports. Just, I don't know, whether it's a run or scavenger hunt, just something fun to do after school. I also think that lunchtime is where people talk to friends. This is very fun. Just play music during lunch. I know there's classes going on. It shouldn't be too loud, but music definitely would be, I think, would be effective for the students to reduce stress. Also, surveys. The school held many surveys this year, for students just to see how the stress level was at the current time. And I think they should definitely continue with this and just to keep track of the stress the students have.
Thank you very much. Savannah, back in December, the freshman class showed massive support for their grade at the annual Battle of the Classes. Outside of that event, including Spirit Week, how would you get the class of 2020 to continue to show support and stay spirited?
So I think it's really important to have like a big influence on social media because nowadays that's where most of our students are reacting to, and that's where most of our students spend their time. So I think that if we made it as a social media presence, almost to like get everyone involved, that would be really really good. As well as the fact that not everybody has certain colors or certain things to be available for Spirit Week. So I feel that we might want to have like a box of beads out if like our treasurer permits it due to finance.
Thank you very much. Jamie, same question to you. Outside of Battle of the Classes, how would you get the class of 2020 to continue to show support and stay spirited?
Well, Daniel, I think it's really important, as you said, to get everybody together outside of school, not only in school. Everybody at Millburn High School is doing their own things and involved in other activities. And I think it's important to get everybody together, like as Savannah said, with a streamlined communication system and making sure that, we're getting the opinions and the values that the class embodies to the officers and to the planning of these events. And I think it's crucial that maybe we use some school time. Maybe there's, because everybody has these busy schedules. If we bring people in school and we say, during this time we want to try to work together, and we want to try to maybe during extended homerooms get ideas from people. We want to do events and do things that are going to fit with people's schedules, but then also maybe enrich their school life. Maybe there's different activities that are interesting to certain people and interesting to others. So there needs to be a good balance, but then there also has to be a good incentive with it. And I think the teachers and the administration, we have to work with them and make sure that everybody's committed to it. It shouldn't be that something that the student council puts together is just another event that maybe goes on the TV for one day. It should be a school event. And I think that's definitely something I'd like to really look into and change this year if I'm elected. Thank you. Next year.
Thank you very much, Jamie. All right, Greg. Class presidents have the power to create amazing events and functions, but spreading the word is a weakness for some presidents. The class of 2020 already has a Facebook group where information can be shared, so what's another method of communication that you would use to share information with your class that would also get them interested in coming to new events?
Well, Dan, one thing I noticed this year was during homeroom, I think a lot more information could have been spread through the announcements. I noticed this, and I know the senior class president is the one who's really supposed to make most of the announcements, but we could really have just more people from different clubs, different organizations within the school coming on to make announcements along with the senior class president. I think that, so many people are using Google Classroom. Almost every class uses Google Classroom. If we could have a classroom page for the whole grade for everyone to be on to notify about events, I think that would be a great idea just to get everyone in on it. I do think that there are so many things put up that catch people's attention in the front hallway of the school. And I think if we could have bulletin boards for the sophomore class and every other class having individual information about each grade on that grade's bulletin board, I think that would be a great way to spread information because so many people, that's where you come in, and there's so many things to catch attention there and to show.
Thank you very much. Savannah, same question to you. What's another method of communication that you would use to share information with your class that would also get them interested in coming to events?
When I was posed this question, I thought of three immediate responses, and the first one was Google Classroom. Again, I think that that's very important for anybody who doesn't have access to social media. But on the other hand, I also feel like social media also has a great influence on things like this, and why that's how we could spread the word. And another thing, in case anybody doesn't have something or there's not a clear communication, is just like go back to the old days with posters, because I think that might actually work a little bit better because people look around the hall and they can see a lot of they can just see things, or like a lot of new things, such as Battle of the Classes, to participate, how to participate. I think that that's important that be spread.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to come into our final question here, and we're going to start off with Sam. Sam, fundraising is a critical job that the class president is tasked with. Nowadays, fundraising isn't just about putting money into a jar and putting it on a jar on the table and asking for donations. It also calls for interaction amongst your peers through activities. What is one of your plans for raising money for the class of 2020 next year?
Okay, the key way to raise money for the class is to include intriguing fundraisers. These fundraisers need to entice their class. One example of this would be drone racing. Having a drone race would be unique and it would also be interactive for the students. The way that we would raise money off of this is that we would charge people for participation in the event and we'd also charge people for attendance. Another great way to raise money at the event would include bake sales in this event. When people include bake sales, they're practically forced to buy things from the sale if they're thirsty or get hungry. By doing this and including more relatable events to the students of the class of 2020, we will be able to raise a lot of money for the class this year.
Thank you. And finally, Jamie, you are also being asked the same question. What's one of your plans for raising money for the class of 2020 next year?
Well, raising money is really this is really a great question because this past year we were very successful with our food fundraiser. We had several different bake sales, several different sales to try to get people involved. But I really think that for next year I have these great plans of working with downtown Millburn, down to our left, and working with the merchants and working with the restaurants and bringing livelihood from the high school into there. I've gotten Clemenza Pizza into the cafeteria every Thursday, if you haven't noticed. But we really, I really think that we could be working with the downtown, having some more events with the high school, with the downtown, and utilizing that great space downtown to raise money for the class and also raise money for the merchants and for the restaurants to keep our downtown the best it can be, and also keep the high school and our budget full, and keep everything flowing very nicely, and in all, keeping everybody happy and satisfied rather than scrambling at the last minute before our prom and saying, what are we going to do? We're going to charge people $2,000 to go? Exaggeration, but we want people to be satisfied. I'd love to have people go to not even have to worry about money going to our prom. I'd love them to go up and sign up and just, oh, here's a ticket, and you just take it. That's not a reality, but we could get there. We could get somewhere near there, and I'd love to do that. And I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we've gone through all the questions. We're going to end right now with our closing statements. You'll each have about 30 seconds to give your final remarks to the viewing audience and hopefully get them to vote for you tomorrow during homeroom. So, Savannah, we're going to start with you.
Okay. Hi. So I think it is incredibly important that the student council and the student body actually gets in touch with the peers and the people that we have in our grade, because that's the only way that we can actually connect on a level with them, because each one of us comes from different backgrounds. But if we get the students' input, like especially through surveys in any way that we can, I think that altogether we could build a really, really good student body, something that everyone's proud of, and that's why I feel you should vote for me.
Thank you very much. Sam?
I do agree that stress relief, communication, better fundraisers, and elevating school spirit are very important for the class of 2020 to succeed. Thankfully, I have solutions to all these problems. Okay, I know that balance is important within balancing schoolwork and extracurricular activities. If you guys vote for me, we'll have a very fantastic and successful school year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Greg?
Thank you, Dan. Class of 2020, if you elect me president of the class, I will be willing to make this my top priority out of everything I do. I think that it is very important that we keep the grade having fun through school as we did this year, and also working with different outside groups in the town, as Jamie said. I think this is very important, and I am very, very much willing to work with the rest of the cabinet and really just the whole school. Class government it's about working with everyone. I'm willing to do that, and just to help out all the clubs do better in our school and do everything for our grade that I can. I'm really hoping for a great sophomore year next year, and I am definitely capable of helping us have one and helping us just enjoy sophomore year. I think that I can do a lot to help us be very successful next year with our fundraisers, raising for class prom, and so on. So I'm asking for your vote tomorrow during the election.
Thank you very much. And finally, Jamie.
Class of 2020, I think we can have a really great sophomore year. We can have great connectivity, working with the downtown, raise a lot of money to be used not only for future events, but for current events, bringing the class together, taking time maybe out of our constant tests and homework, and maybe studying a little smarter, doing fun activities, and being the class of 2020 that can be recognized by other towns and by the state of New Jersey and this country for doing the right things and having fun and looking back when you're having your 50-year anniversary, when you're having your reunions, going back and thinking, you know what, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, freshman year, they were great years, and I want to be a part of that, and I think I can make those years the best possible. But I need your vote tomorrow during homeroom. Jamie Ceruto, make sure you select my name on the ballot. Thank you, guys, and great job to all the candidates. A really great debate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Once again, these are your 2017 candidates: Jamie Ceruto, Greg Licciardi, Sam Cohen, and Savannah Prager. Thank you, everybody. That includes our incoming senior debates, incoming junior debates. Robbie Aronson, Bud Power, and myself. We were the moderators today. Thank you, everybody, and thanks for watching today. Don't forget, voting is tomorrow morning in homeroom. See you then.